Hey Scorpio, this is Dr. Tarot with Take Charge Tarot, and I am here to deliver your October 24th through 31st reading. We are new kids on the block here, that is Take Charge Tarot, so if you feel so moved, if you hear something you like, feel free to like this video and also subscribe. It'll really help us out, but more importantly, you will be in the know when new messages come out, and I do post weekly. So yeah, so let's get on with it, and thanks again for the honor of reading for you today. My name, I already told you my name, but what I didn't tell you is I'm a Scorpio too, so proud Scorpio, I should say. So what we have here is career and work, love and a relationship, however defined to you. Also, same with career and work. That doesn't have to be what you get paid for. It can also be just what you consider to be your work. And over here is your soul path. So without further ado, let's take a look at the first card. This is Ace of Pentacles. Now, and I was already I had a little technical malfunction. So I kind of started your reading and had the malfunction. So I now have to get back in the groove. But Ace of Pentacles is it's a great card. I mean, it's really hard for this to see this as anything but positive. It is, however, in this particular instance where it is. So this is how things are now, where things are now for you. The middle row is in all the domains. The middle row is the direction in which Spirit suggests you might move. So obviously you have free will, but these are the directions in which you want to move. And then the final card here at the bottom is any action, immediate action you can take, if any, because if it indicates that you should take no action, that too is a message. So moving on, this Ace of Pentacles, even though ace is typically, I mean, it's at the beginning of the pentacle suit and it's an ace, so it's considered like an invitation. It's like a beginning of a beginning. It's a proto beginning. What I'm getting from this card is that you worked really hard, toiled really hard, to kind of wrap some things up, to then start some sort of career or work venture that you really care about. So for instance, something that comes to me as an example, but obviously you can apply this in any way. Oh yeah, and parenthetically, this is a general reading. It will not resonate for everyone. It is more specifically for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn. But if, again, it doesn't resonate with you, by all means, look at your other planetary placements. So yeah, so even though this is very much a beginning, it's a beginning after what seems like a very hard-fought end. So we'll just let that kind of hang out there. Yeah, it's interesting. You have two big beginnings here. So I'm kind of wondering so this is the Fool is in your soul path placement. So part of me is wondering if this isn't connected, the work, quote unquote, that you have just had a big beginning with. And this can be, you know, Pentacles doesn't necessarily mean, in fact, it really doesn't mean money or, hey, you won the lottery, or it has very little, if anything, to do with money. What it does have to do with is the material product or the material manifestation of a spiritual journey, of a spiritual lesson, of an emotional or spiritual, or just think of it. In fact, I mean, we can even take those adjectives out. It is a manifestation, full stop. A physical, tangible, you can see it, you can touch it, you can hear it, manifestation of some aspect of your being, your soul growth, I mean, whatever. But that's an important distinction to make, because I think sometimes Pentacles is just like, hey, money's coming through. Hey, you know, you're going to have a windfall. Hey, you should, you know, and that's not the case. And I tip my hat to my teacher, one of my teachers, Lindsay Mack. It's like, if that were true, then everybody would be rich that got 10 of Pentacles, right? Or they would get a lot of money. And if it's not true for everybody, then clearly it can't be true for one person. It has to be, it's not possible for everybody. So moving on. The direction in which you need to go. What an interesting card. So Nine of Swords, it's the card of grief. It's the card of, just grief, sadness. But what Spirit is suggesting and saying is you've had your nose so to the grindstone and you've been working these, like, again, this is metaphorical. It may not be for you. This may be very literal for you, or this may be something that resonates sort of in its spirit. But you haven't had an opportunity, because you've been moving so fast and so hard, to just grieve, to just be like, man, I just spent X amount of years, X amount of months, X amount of decades doing this other work that simply did not fulfill me, that didn't speak to me. And it's time to, like, feel that. It's time to let that come through, because if not, you're just stuck here. And more importantly, what I'm hearing Spirit say is you'll treat this like you treated the work before this, that you worked like the 60-hour weeks to make all the money, so you would have enough cushion of some sort to move into the place where you can just focus on this. And immediate action, this is great. Absolutely nothing. The action here is just to let Spirit, let the universe do its thing. You've done all the things. Now it's just a matter of watching it's not just like watching the fruits of your labor, as much as it's you've shown up, you did your work. Now the universe, of course, has been working with you the whole time, but now it's time for you to just relax, feel the feelings, as it were, and just let the fates and let the universe spin this wheel of time. And a lot, don't get it twisted, a lot's happening here. So it's the Wheel of Fortune, it's major arcana. We know that's a big deal because it's the major arcana. However, it is a card that indicates no movement and no action on your part necessary. This is the universe's turn, and they're doing their thing for you. Okay. In love, so let me take a look here. I may be talking to, I like to talk to everybody, and also, I speak to, some of us are aromantic and asexual. We are not interested, nor do we seek intimate relationships of the sexual or romantic kind, and that's totally cool. Anything you hear, let it be. Perhaps it can apply to other relationships you have. I mean, you're a human, you have relationships. So this speaks to everyone, however love and relationship is defined for you. And what I'm seeing, I think I might be talking to people who just got out of something, or they're about to. If you're not already out of something, you're already thinking about it. I'm not getting the sense that it's like a huge commitment. This is someone you maybe have been dating for, like, I don't know, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, maybe even a year, but your reservations about this connection are like long in coming. You're dissatisfied, right? But what is really coming through for me is like how you've been here for a while. This isn't just like a big dramatic, oh my God, I'm so dissatisfied. This feels almost like you have just kind of given up. It has a given up kind of vibe to it. Like you are, there's a better word. It is given up, but it's more like you have just accepted and surrendered, and not in a great way, not in a terrible way either. Nothing's right or wrong, generally speaking. But you've kind of surrendered, like, yeah, I don't want that couple love, You're looking away from it. Like, you've got these three. So he or she or they are all, they're good in all of these ways, but there is this very magical rainbow shedding, what do you call it? I mean, this is clearly, if you can't already see it, this thing's like the bomb. This is a huge bowl emitting this massive, gorgeous rainbow. And you're not even looking at it. You don't, you're not having it. And that's the reason is you're focused on this relationship. Basically, let me not get too into the card. Here's what's happening. You're not satisfied, but you've been in it for an enough amount of time that you have kind of gotten used to dissatisfaction. And my reading of this card in this dissatisfaction is that cup with the rainbow that you're looking away from. It's not that you're rejecting it, it's that you don't even see it. You don't even know it's there. And it's trying to kind of, I mean, look at the contrast between the rainbow side and the non-rainbow side. This looks like, this is ordinary. You got a tree, you got your bowls, everything's fine. But it's not magical. It doesn't have the alchemy that real chemistry has. And again, I should say compatibility. So when I'm talking about chemistry or compatibility, if we need to move it into a sort of aromantic type energy, that's what I'm talking about. Like some people like that you work with, you just work differently. You might, if you're in a workplace and you just have, or what's another? Let's use another. You're a therapist. And let's be real. You don't like all your clients. And those of us who go to therapists and wonder if they like us, it doesn't matter because they have to do their job. If they really have a problem, it's on them to respectfully say, I cannot treat you well. As in, I can't treat you in the way that you deserve to be treated as a client. But it's nobody's fault. It's not that we've done something wrong. For whatever reason, there's a chemistry issue. And if you're a therapist, as an example, or you're a caregiver of some kind, you have two choices. You can just act as a professional, see if you can be a good practitioner for that person, your client, and do that. Or, you can move along. Or eventually, anyway, you get the idea, right? It's like not everybody is compatible in any arena, be it family, be it obviously love relationship, be it a sexual relationship, be it a work relationship, a friendship, a peer group friend, etc. So this is basically like, just cut out, just leave it already. And yeah, it's going to be, leave it however you need to leave it. Sometimes when we break up with someone or we end a relationship, I mean, we've all made mistakes. If you haven't, congratulations. I'd love to meet you. But sometimes we leave relationships or leave connections a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? Less graceful than we would maybe like. Sometimes you just can't. You have to break up over the phone. You just can't do the whole, I'm going to see you in person. Yes, I know there's a huge stigma around this, but sometimes you have to break up in text. If it's a long distance relationship, or, you just don't have the time. I mean, I guess there's a way to ethically and morally do it, sort of like leave the door open, like, hey, if you have any questions or you want to talk to me about this, if that's not an option for you, maybe being as thorough as you can in the text. But at the end of the day, I'll use myself as an example. As a human being, I've left people. I have been left. I have been treated less humanely than I would like, and vice versa. So this card is saying, just get out however you need to. And this, don't worry, because the light of the moon, which of course is reflected in the sun, and that'll come into play here in a minute, it's gonna light your way. So again, this isn't a dangerous situation. No one's in danger here. It's not like, oh my gosh, you're perfectly safe here. I don't see any danger. What I see is complacency. You're complacent, and you're going to, if it's been 6 months, you can wake up 6 years later and you're still just tolerating this person. And for what? You've just wasted 5 years. So get out. Awesome. That's easy. And this is the direction in which you need to go in, right? So you need to be moving in the direction of leaving. So that can be slow and that can be fast. For me, this card is definitely indicating get out now. So I would say it is not, this person is on the move and they have protection just in case anybody wants to get in their way, and they're like, I'm out of here, get out of my way. So that 7 is, the 7 of Swords there is very direct, and it's very much about self-preservation. Like, you're not an a-hole. You're not like I said, I guess my long-winded explanation about we've all done things that we're less than proud of, but sometimes we're just not able to break up. You know, we're not able to get out of a situation that elegantly. Well, welcome to the human race. That just happens, you know. And then we've got the Three of Wands here, which I love, which is know that this is a card of hope. But more than hope, it's more of a card of anticipation. So let's just take the card literally. She has her surfboard. She's got these tiki torches, so I'm going to guess that it's very early morning, like pre-dawn, which, I mean, I'm not a surfer and nor do I like live in a surf town, but I have been friends with many people who are surfers, and I understand that they like to go surfing very early in the morning. I guess that's when the tide is big or whatever. Anyway, that's my very expert information I get to share with you. But she's waiting for her wave. You know, she's waiting for her wave. She's got her surfboard. She's excited. And she's excited. She's alive. She doesn't have she's not riding a wave. No one's with her right now, but she doesn't need that. She's just excited to find the wave and to ride it. So I'm feeling your love area very powerfully. And it's just time to go. It's just time to go. And it's not the time to reflect on as to why. It's not the time to have a conversation with your person or persons. It is not. Yeah, the information I'm getting is very limited. And I know things are complicated and things have way more context. But Spirit is telling me, like, this is not the time for a big grand analysis. This is the time for this, this, and this. And that's coming through really clear. So I guess, you know, we'll heed Spirit and say, okay. Life path looks freaking amazing. So here's where you